Hey guys, it's the Budget Epicurean, and today I'm making one of my favorite, super easy vegan lunch bowls. And it doesn't really have a name, but it's basically a cauliflower cashew grain bowl with barley. You can use other types of grains. I just really like barley because it is nice and chewy, but I've had it before with bulgur wheat. It's also very good, or brown rice would work here if that's what you have. So we've got our barley, some cashews, sesame seeds for topping, some olive oil because we're going to roast the cauliflower, some red onion and celery, and then lemon juice and garlic salt for the dressing. Super simple, super easy. Really, the longest part is just going to be cooking the barley and roasting the cauliflower. So I'm going to get those two things started because barley is a whole grain. It's going to take a little bit longer to cook than something like a white rice. So you're going to need 30 to 40 minutes at a full boil if you want to do it on the stovetop. But you could also use a pressure cooker. I am right here using a rice cooker. So for barley, this is pearled barley, and it is a whole grain because it still has the germ and bran intact. So you're going to get a lot of good fiber from this. And you want to use a 2-to-1 ratio of the grain to water. So I'm just doing 1/2 cup of barley to 2 cups of water. Put a lid on there. And we're just going to let that simmer. That'll take about 40 minutes, which is perfect because that's about how long baking the cauliflower is going to take. So I've already removed the middle part that is where it connected to the stem, and there's a couple leaves. So now I'm just going to cut up the florets, removing them from the stalk at first, and then just kind of tearing them apart with my hands. You can use frozen cauliflower here too. That's a nice quick shortcut if you're short on time. And I like to use all of it because this internal part is still good, and it's really, really great when roasted. That's my personal favorite way to eat cauliflower. If you don't want to turn the oven on because it's summertime and it's hot, or you don't have an oven, you can also boil your cauliflower. I just like that little bit of caramelization that you get from roasting it in the oven. So that's what we're going to do. We've got it preheating right now to 350. And this will cook in there for 30 to 40 minutes, and approximately how long it'll take the rice cooker to cook the barley. So it all comes together. So I'm just chopping it up into not quite bite-sized pieces, just taking the really, really big florets, cutting them in halves or quarters. It's okay if they take 2 bites to get through, but that's totally up to you. And then we'll just drizzle this with about a tablespoon of olive oil. And pop that in the oven. Okay, and then we can move on to our veggies. I've got a red onion here. I like the red color. Also, the more vibrantly colorful the veggie is, the more likely it has lots of healthy antioxidants in it. So I always try to go with red over a white variety if that's an option. Red onions, I think, are a little bit stronger in smell and flavor to their cousins, the white or yellow onions. But if the smell or flavor of it bothers you, you can always use a milder onion here. And if you really don't like raw onion, then obviously just don't use it. I like the crunch and that little bite. I'm probably only going to use half of an onion in this entire bowl though. So I just remove the outer skin, cut it in half, and then you go lengthwise and then across the grain to make it a nice small dice there. And there you go. So the bites of onion that you get won't be terribly humongous. onion. We dice up our celery as well. Also not required, but it gives it a nice little extra crunch and freshness. And I'm just cutting off the ends. We'll put all of this in the freezer for soup at a later date. And then we cut up the center of the ribs and then dice it longwards. So they're nice, small, bite-sized pieces, like so. And this is a great lunch option because you can eat it hot or cold or room temperature. You don't necessarily have to refrigerate it. So if you're in a place where you won't eat for several hours and you don't have a refrigerator, you don't have a microwave, this is a really good option to still have something homemade and fresh and really, really good for you. If you must have a meat option, you can always throw some chicken or tuna or something like that in here. A great other vegan vegetarian option for more protein is chickpeas. Sometimes I'll throw a drained can of chickpeas in as well. But there you have it. That is it. So now we just wait until the barley is all done and the cauliflower is nice and roasted, and then we'll toss it all together and add the dressing. All right, so our barley is cooked and the cauliflower has roasted for about 35 minutes, and you can see it's just starting to get a little bit of brown on the edges, which is perfect. It is slightly soft, but still a little crisp to the touch, which is just how I like it. So we're just gonna move that to a bowl. And this is my silicone baking sheet. I love these because I don't have to use foil or plastic liners anymore. And they're reusable over and over and over. You just wash them off and use it again. Great for roasting vegetables, baking things like cookies, and what have you. So there's our cauliflower. And then our lovely cooked barley. Put that right in on top. And the barley's smaller, so it'll just kind of fall down into the cracks. All right. We'll fill in our onions. I'll try to break it up a little bit. The pieces will break up more as I mix it too. And our celery. And like I said, if you want a little bit more of a protein boost, toss in a can of drained chickpeas or some shredded chicken. A nice big handful of cashews. And just kind of getting things down into the nooks and crannies. So you're going to want a really big bowl. This makes enough for 2 to 3 good sized servings, I would say, depending on how hungry you are. And then I like to toss on a splash of lemon juice. You can also use fresh lemons, of course. Probably roughly equivalent to the juice of 1 or 2 fresh lemons. A little sprinkle of garlic salt. And these are mixed black and white sesame seeds, just for a little extra boost of nutrition and protein. Seeds are very good for you. And there you have it. The Barley Cauliflower Cashew Bowl. Enjoy.